Alright, part two. We'll go over the suspension and some of the under side of this car here. So, start off with stock brakes, stock rotors. These are actually the 78 to 81 G-body, or A-body actually they call them. So they're like the standard. So they use these 7/16 studs. Those are Moroso studs. I got these weld wheels. So they come out. I guess that's an NHRA thing. So this is, they got the power stop pads on them, which, believe it or not, made a really big difference in stopping power. Stopping this big heavy car, which weighs 3550 with me. We got a TRZ steering rack, which usually is not something I would do, but a friend of mine had a used one and the price was right, so I did install it. I couldn't pass up the deal. The best thing about this, as you can see, to correct bump steer, you can see how my lower control arm and the tie rod is at about the same angle, so bump steer is pretty much eliminated. Works great. The bad thing is I run the stock spindles. So with the stock spindles and the TRZ, you lose a ton of steering radius or turning radius. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I drive this all over the place on the street. Just when you get in parking lots and stuff like that, kind of sucks. But, anyways, moving on. Stock lower control arms. You can see I did add some metal, because I am running coilovers, double adjustable coilovers, and they mount in the stock location where the shock was. So I had an issue with, before I added this metal, that the points where these bolted to were starting to bend real bad. So I added this metal, just kind of best of my ability. I'll go on the top of the car and show you before I end it, but it does have trick chassis upper control arms. And then I use the Pro Forged 1/2 inch extended ball joints on the bottom and the top. The extended ball joints do help control the camber when the suspension's at full extension or full compression. Seems like that's a pretty decent upgrade that I made, and that was just kind of by chance. Those are trick chassis upper control arms in the front. That's a TRZ Strange manual master cylinder, and they're a mounting bracket lines, and then there is an adjustable proportioning valve, but actually I have that all the way out, so car does stop pretty good. Again, front brakes. The inner frame here is all boxed in. It was a kit from Trick Chassis. Now I did this, I actually had the body off the frame. I think it would be a really pain in the butt to do if the car was on the frame. But I kind of did as much as I could to strengthen it. I plan on doing more. You can see my custom transmission cross member. So I did this because my goal eventually is to add a bar that goes to the front here, and then have a cross member that goes either over or under, probably over the drive shaft, connects to here, and then I don't know what else, something to strengthen it up just a little bit more. 9-inch rear end, nothing special about it. 1960s something nodular center section I recently added with the strange pinion support. and 325 gears with a spool. Mosier 31 spline axles. Cincy drive line. 4-inch aluminum drive shaft. Extreme Automatics Turbo 400 with the ballistic blanket on it, so if the drum explodes, it doesn't take my feet off. And then I do have a diaper on the engine, which is a JEGS unit. It's like $100. Definitely recommend that. So back here, for the lower control arms in the back here, they're just strengthened with this trick chassis box kit. And then they're lower double adjustable control arms. Custom fabricated by me. I made this so I can have three different adjustments for the lower control arm to get the instant center dialed in. For the uppers, that's trick chassis buckets. You see the different holes in there to fine tune your instant center. I've measured mine out a few times and came up with a million different numbers. Basically, I just have been adjusting it before I go to the track to try something new. This is where it ended up with the 123 60 foot time. It's got pretty good separation. I'm happy with it. Cannot tell you what the anti-squat numbers are or how long or how short it is, but I know it works. So spherical upper control arm bushings in the 9-inch right there. For the springs, I run Coilover springs. These are 12-inch by 110 pounds, and they do get the adjustable perches up there. I welded that steel up there, welded the perch to it, so I can lower and raise the ride height. See right here, I added some bars, and what this is hopefully doing is strengthen the upper torque boxes. Goes from the frame to the torque boxes, goes to the plates right there that I welded on. That's like 3/16. And then the roll cage is actually welded onto the top of this. So it's got a bunch of support coming from a bunch of different ways. Plus I got this bar that I welded in. Going across to that. Then I got another bar here that holds the trick chassis anti-roll bar, which I usually go to the track and set it neutral, and then usually give this about 1 turn of preload. And then key is to always have somebody back there filming it for you, so you can see if the car's leaning to right, left, doing whatever, going straight, going left, right. But that's kind of key. For the rear shocks, they're just double adjustable Viking. It's like they're cheaper. I think they're the Warriors. And then I do take good notes, but I also carry a dry erase marker with me, and I always kind of mark what my settings are on here, and then you can erase it with your finger. But my memory's not the greatest, so that helps out a bunch. These are just my going to town tires, just old Mickey Thompsons on 8-inch wheels. Racing wheels here are the 10-inch, and the 275/60 Mickey ET Pros. I did box the frame. It may not be the prettiest. I can show that more in detail if anybody wants to see it. Another bar back here. And I deleted the spare tire well and put this piece of metal up there. Fuel pump. You can kind of see my fuel system. I can go over that in another video. And then just the stock rear bumper. Heavy metal and all. Also, I do have the TRZ. I don't know if I can if you can see any of them. I used the TRZ standard height body mounts. There you go. I did have the frame off this, like I said. So I definitely recommend that if you're trying to strengthen up the whole body of the car. I'm just an amateur, trying to learn as I go. But so far it's working pretty good for what I have. Alright, that'll wrap up this video. If you got any questions, let me know. I'll do another video and explain the interior and the roll cage I put in. Have a good one.